Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tyler. I'm an astrologer. So I want to, we've all heard a lot, all of us that are into astrology, we've heard all our lives about the planet Venus. So we've always heard that the planet Venus, they call it the planet of love. I guess love, relationships, and such. It wasn't that long ago that I heard something about it that, it's kind of made me change my mind. Right now, I'm not so sure that that's entirely true or that that's true, period. Because according to Vedic numerology, pardon me, I studied Vedic numerology a couple of years ago, and I found out some information about the science of numbers. Now, Vedic numerology is the one that we really should be following because it's the correct one. Western numerology, I mean, nothing against it, but apparently it doesn't give as accurate information as the Vedic one does. I know from personal experience that this is true, according to what I've seen in people's relationships, particular days that we go through. That's kind of a different. I don't want to get too much off topic. It's kind of a. I'll make another video based on Vedic numerology strictly, but regarding the planet Venus, we've always been told that it's the planet of love. Our Venus sign is how we perceive love or something in relationships. However, Vedic numerology, Indian Vedic numerology scientists, or sorry, the Vedic numerology numerologist, they claim that the planet Venus is actually the opposite. They say that no, it's not. In truth, I don't know the history, the entire history about it, but they call Venus the planet of demonic spirits. And so that doesn't sound like a planet of love, for obvious reason. But that's what they say, that the description of what the ancients used to describe of the planet Venus. And I even, when I hear of this, I think to myself, if there was ever, if we had an option or an opportunity to ever visit one of the planets or any of the planets one day, I think Venus would probably be last on my list, either Venus or Saturn. And so apparently what they say about Saturn really is true, that Saturn is kind of the planet of limitations or something. But we've always heard stories like Western astrologers always told how none of the other planets like Saturn. And Saturn was the one that wasn't any good, or like the no good planet. It's the one that rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and being the planet of limitation. But by the sounds of it, Vedic numerologists claim that Venus is the planet of evil, or not just if there was a planet of no good, it would be Venus. So according to Vedic numerologists, and I'm going to leave the link for you, by the way, so that you could read about it below when you guys want to visit the site of where I heard about this from. So I kind of wonder, so our Venus sign is, it's supposed to be our perception of love and our relationships and such. Maybe it is, but apparently the shadow side about Venus, it far outnumbers the good, apparently. If that's what Vedic numerologists call the planet Venus, the planet of demonic spirits. And from what this actually makes sense in a way, because I'll tell you a story that Jade Sol Luna, he's the author of his book, Austerian Astrology, The Lost System the Law System of Alexander the Great, Volume 1, he, in one of his YouTube interviews, I'll leave the link for that below as well, in some of his interviews from about 5 years ago, he mentions about the planet Venus rules the signs of Taurus and Libra. So he mentioned about the story about the sign of Libra. So the sign of Libra is represented by a human, and they call it human yoni. So there's actually, I think there's 5 different types of humans of all the signs of the zodiac. That's Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Aquarius. Ophiuchus is one too, the one that the Western astrology doesn't mention about. There was some kind of cover up with Ophiuchus, I believe. The ancients didn't want to mention about it for some reason. I think there's some long story behind it about Ophiuchus. But, and the other one is the first half of Sagittarius. The first half of Sagittarius is of human yoni as well, is a human, and the other half is an animal, of course, half human, half horse, is the Sagittarius sign. So the sign of Libra, Jade Luna mentioned how from what he described in his story, and I'll show you from the link below, the video where he had the interview, he told the history of Scorpio. And everyone of today, they always believed that the sign of Scorpio was the evil one of all of them. But if I'm not mistaken, Jade Luna, who's the world expert on Vedic astrology, he mentions how, from what it sounded like, I think he mentioned that the sign of Libra had used Scorpio as a scapegoat, or some kind of a scapegoat, if I'm not mistaken. Libra was the real sign of the evildoer, but whereas Scorpio was like the opposite. The Scorpio was the healer and the nurturer and the devoted and loyal. And somehow Libra had used Scorpio as like the scapegoat or the cover up. And Libra would have basically would behave good and so on, but behind the scenes it was the evildoer and such. Same thing with Taurus as well. The Taurus was so what the story that Jade Luna describes he gives the best detail, of course, about that. And when I heard about this, it made sense, because the sign of Libra and the sign of Taurus, they're ruled by the planet Venus. So they're ruled by the planet Venus. So this would make a lot of sense, this would make sense and be some evidence that what Vedic numerologists say about the planet Venus being the planet of demonic spirits. And it's not a planet you would want to visit if you had an option to visit one of the planets. I'd probably put it last on my list. And so this would make a lot of sense if, the sign of Libra was the real, the evildoer, the one who lied, who schemed, who betrayed, who deceived, and such. And it's ruled by the planet Venus. And then you have Taurus, who you could probably call the sign of Taurus a gluttonous, because apparently the Taurus ate a lot. Apparently people who have a Taurus moon or a rising or a sun, they really love food and they like to eat a lot. So that would make some sense about them being gluttonous, as well as being some other stuff as well. I wouldn't even want to mention it, because it's kind of, from some stuff that you hear about is quite, there's some graphic detail and stuff that you hear, but this makes a lot of sense. So if these two signs, Libra and Taurus came first and then Libra, So they're ruled by the planet Venus, and so that would make a lot of sense of what Vedic numerologists claim as well. So the links are below if you want to see the detail on that. Thanks again for watching, guys, on this video about the planet Venus. Is it really the planet of love and relationships? Well, how could it be that way if Vedic numerologists call it the planet of demonic spirits? That doesn't sound so much like a loving planet to me. So whatever the truth is, it's certainly an interesting topic, for sure. So thanks again. I look forward to more videos in the future. And oh, by the way, I wanted to mention, so today was, I forgot to mention, today was Thursday, July the 18th, 2019. Today in Chinese astrology was Day of the Fire Dragon. So the Fire Dragon Day is actually a good luck day for me in my Chinese astrology. Also, in Vedic numerology, the number 18 is a lucky day for me since I was born on the 6th of the month. February 6th is my birthday. So days that are that represent a 6 or a 9 are supposed to be good luck days as well. This is according to Vedic numerology, which I will definitely discuss in more detail in future videos. And again, I'm going to leave the link for the website to show you guys below as well regarding it. Thanks again. All the best, guys, and God bless.